On this episode, we pay $60 a year.
No, I don't.
$4 a month.
I'd like to bid $19.99.
Accepted. Welcome to Save Every Universe. My name is Alec Garcia. I am the daughter of a wealthy archaeologist. After accidentally setting the apocalypse in motion, I must learn how to balance my drive to finish my father's work with learning to do the right thing.
Balance your drive?
Like my ambition. I gotta balance
it like
with learning to do the right thing.
like a hard drive?
You gotta like you back it up, you reformat it, and then you
that sounds
USB
like a boring...
3.0. But it has archaeology in it, so it's
archaeology and
so
computers.
You found the drive underground, sort of. So there's a little bit of pizzazz there.
Okay, I guess I'll take your word for it. My name is Robbie. I'm a famous plumber who's almost invincible. When I'm not storming the castle, I'm racing. Maybe I can be melted?
That is like the biggest softball lob gimme in the history of this show.
You think it is?
Yeah.
Why?
I can't say what it is.
It's not.
Tune in next week.
Yeah, we'll wait.
It's not what I think it is? Is that what you're going to say?
I don't know.
It's definitely what I think it is.
Okay. Well, we'll find
Unless
out.
It's the other metal one.
Brutal Legend?
Yeah.
It's not Brutal Legend.
Who are you last?
Last week, I was Black Cat.
Yeah, that was
we talked about Spider-Man. I thought of her from Maximum Carnage. She was like the first companion you could summon.
Oh, that's right.
You get like little tokens, and she'd come in and kick everyone in the face.
But there's a cool side quest in the new PS4 Spider-Man where you go and she's teasing you along, and you get some backstory.
She's always such a tease.
You unlock a cool suit at the end of it.
Mm-hmm. I think the DLC is going to be...
the first DLC that comes out, I think October 23rd, called The Heist, is...
It's a city that never sleeps, right?
And it comes in 3 installments. There's The Heist, I can't remember the other 2, but I think it's like themed around different villains, which is really cool because they had some side missions. This isn't really spoilery. It's just like
Dude, Black
stuff.
Cat's not a villain.
But...
Okay.
Anyway. Yeah, she's not, I guess. Not totally.
Is she a villain?
Yeah, that's what she makes you ask.
Yeah, that's what she makes me ask.
They had a cool side thing with like Tombstone, where it was just like it wasn't really connected to the larger picture, really.
Oh, whoa!
In the game,
Tombstone's in it.
Yeah, and it's just
don't tell me anymore.
There's like a couple little side missions that has a really cool little story arc, and so if they do something like that, I would prefer it be a little bit bigger for a DLC than that. But if they do something like that with Black Cat, it's gonna be great.
I've done a pretty good job of I don't even know all the suits in the game. Like I keep wanting. I see these videos pop up, and I'm like, I want to know how to unlock them all. But I've kind of enjoyed just going along.
So I think most of them you unlock just from leveling. Like every 2 levels you unlock a new one, or once you complete a certain story mission,
it seems like side missions are unlocking them.
Okay.
Or like when I start a new collectible
that might just be
chain.
the experience from leveling. I know some of them are experience based, and then some of them are.
Some of them have unlocked, and I don't even have the tokens available to unlock them. They're just showing me that they're in the game.
And then there's one final one. I haven't even looked into how to do this yet. I haven't done it yet, but there's one final one that you can see there. Even I've unlocked all of them except for this one, and you have to 100% some side activity to to unlock it. Yeah, it's like the super secret suit.
Nice.
I think IGN or somebody put up a walkthrough for it.
Yeah, I'll probably wait till I get to that point before I...
Anyway, so I was MJ from Spider-Man. Yeah. So we both did Spider-Man characters, and MJ, they changed her backstory for this. She's a journalist instead of whatever she was in the comics.
A model. She was a model.
Yeah.
So Ultimate Spider-Man comics, she's an investigative journalist.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's in the Ultimate comic.
I liked it. I thought it was a cool fit, and especially for the story that they told, her being a little more plucky and getting herself into some sticky situations and stuff. I thought it was a really good fit and a really good way to tell their story together.
It's a better character than the hot damsel in distress, sexy lamp. I'm always just dressed sexy, Peter, save me. Yeah. Like, I mean, the classic MJ is classic, right? But that's all she was. She was a sexy lamp.
And she's much more in this one well-rounded.
Yeah.
No
she's
pun
much better
intended after saying sexy model. I don't mean round in figure. I mean
no, I think
well-rounded as a character. She's very assertive and
journalist
independent and headstrong. And she's a really cool character. Actually, there's a couple story pieces where you play as her that were really good.
Yeah, she's been like that in the Ultimate Universe since like the 2000s. And I think the more recent, the Ultimate Spider-Man cartoon that was on Fox, it's a kid's show, but I watched a lot of it.
So you can tell we're like total Spider-Man fanboys. Like,
obviously,
we're going to do a whole nother episode just talking about Spider-Man.
That's not what we're talking about today.
No,
that was what we talked about last week.
So today we are talking about Nintendo just announced they just released, not just announced, their online service.
Yeah, when this releases, it'll been out for a week.
So we want to talk today about different online services. I'll let you go ahead and kick us off there, sir.
I thought this would be worth mentioning because for so long, like we've been Xbox Gold. I still think of it as Xbox Live, but I think it's technically called Xbox Gold. And the PS
Xbox Live Gold.
Gold is what you pay for. Yeah, gold is what you pay for. And then they're like, there's always Xbox Live.
Yeah.
It's a marketing thing, but when it first came out,
they give you access to certain things, but if you actually want to play online or get the free games, whatever, it's gold. Yeah.
Which we'll go into that. But my Nintendo coming out with an online thing had some grumbles at first because Nintendo stuff was always free. However, Nintendo online stuff was also always kind of terrible.
Right.
So maybe it's better. So anyway, that launching, I think it was worth kind of doing comparative. Are they just ripping off Microsoft and doing what they've always done, or is it different? Right. And it seems like it's different.
Yeah, I mean, like so first of all, one of the things you get, it has some similarities, right, to the PlayStation Now and or PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live Gold, in that you get access to online play and stuff like that, and that's some of the stuff that Nintendo used to do for free, and now to play online competitive stuff, you'll need the Nintendo Switch Online
games
service.
Like Splatoon,
but it's like $4 a month, which is, compared to the other services, is just crazy. Or $20 a year or something.
Yeah, let's go over the price.
That's ridiculous.
For the Nintendo Switch, it's $4 a month, or you can do $8 for 3 months, or you can do $20 a year.
Then there's the family pack, which I thought was really cool, up to 8 Nintendo devices for $35
$35
a year.
Yeah, $35
really
a year.
Great.
That's still like almost just over half of what you would pay for PSN. And what's nice about it is you can add 8 people to that plan. And it's not, from what I was seeing online, people have tried doing like, is it region locked? And the answer now is no. Yeah. Like a coworker brought in a Canadian friend. Like that guy, everyone was able to. I think that was on The Verge. They wrote an article about it.
Okay.
It wasn't region locked. People were like bringing in people from Canada to the US. And
which, I mean, to have that, like the cloud saves thing, like that's a big deal, that you can have 8 different users that each have their own cloud account or whatever. That's cool.
It's nice because if you compare that to the way it works now on the PlayStation or Xbox, basically you make whatever the home unit system is. So let's say my home PS4, I pay for PlayStation Plus, and then everybody using my PlayStation gets that access. But I don't think they get the cloud storage. If you tried to sign in on a different PlayStation, it doesn't follow you. None of that follows you. But if you, on this, like you manage it online through Nintendo.com, you add these accounts through there, and then they're just part of it. It doesn't matter where they're at. It's really cool. Yeah, so price-wise, it's definitely cheaper. So
you get the benefit of being able to play online. And I do agree with what you said. When it was free, it wasn't good. And so if it's $4 a month, $20 a year, and that puts some money in the coffer for Nintendo to like dedicate a team to their online services and stuff like that.
Some servers.
And it's actually a better service. Like that's a really cheap price to get some better service out of a console like that.
Yeah, I mean, considering what we're used to paying, which we can go more into that later.
10 a month, 60 a year for the other services. But the other thing you get also, like we mentioned, is the cloud saves.
You get the cloud saves.
Storage.
There was a whole thing about that if you missed it. I poo-pooed on it, and we had some diligent
Just said,
listeners.
like, what's the point?
To me, it didn't seem exciting, but I've heard some feedback, and they've heard some good points about if this is a family system, things can happen to the Switch, then you lose some of those.
And that was the big
forever.
deal. We even had somebody write into the show after we brought that up, that the big deal is if you lose your Switch or it gets stolen or it gets damaged, all of your files are gone.
Yeah.
And so it's just a backup insurance sort of thing. Which is fun.
And I think before you like couldn't put save files on the SD card, and now you can. That was what somebody else had said.
Because that was my first thought, was like, why wouldn't you just put it on an SD card, and that way, even if the system gets damaged, you pop out the SD card. It sucks that you have to get a new Switch, but you're not really totally up a creek. But that wasn't a thing until recently, I guess.
Right. So there's that. We've already fleshed out. Like, I'm not going to poo-poo on it. It's cool.
And then the final thing is the NES games, the NES library.
Well, so yes, the big thing that a lot of people, I think some people react differently to this, but the big thing was that as of today, there's 20 really good NES titles that are launching with it.
Some of the big ones like Zelda and Super Mario 3.
Yep.
So I think and the original Super Mario Brothers.
Yep. I think Tekken Tag. I'm just kidding. Not to.
They had some good beat 'em up stuff.
Yoshi. They had Yoshi. Double Dragon. That's what it was. Yeah, Double Dragon was on there.
I didn't see Mega Man. I didn't see like some of the stuff that I really like on my NES Classic. I didn't look at the list too closely, but glancing over it, I was like, okay, there's the stuff on there that you'd expect. But there's some cool like Castlevania, Mega Man stuff on the Classic unit itself that I didn't see on there just at a glance.
Could be they don't want to compete with themselves.
Probably, yeah.
But more...
I think it's a different market, though, to have like the controller wired with the little unit on your TV. I think that's a little bit... Probably a different category.
I don't know, then. Right? Because some of the people just love having their retro... Whatever. I wasn't that excited about it, but what I did think was cool about it, looking through the list, I did think, oh, this is fun. I could play through this with my son, my younger son. I'm not trying to play favorites. I just have one son who's really into playing video games and one son who's not.
He's a little older, too, than the other.
He's a little bit older, and if I had a podcast about the things he loves, the younger one, I'd bring him up more. But I love them both equally. I just, I do have 2 sons.
Is this a sidetrack? We'll make sure he doesn't hear this episode ever.
He can hear it. Maybe he should hear it because he needs to understand that Daddy loves... All right, forget it. Anyway, what I did think was cool is they're coming out with more NES games in the future. It's not like it's just these 20 and then they're done. There's more coming out next month. I think Metroid was coming out next month.
Yeah, and if they could take sort of like all the stuff they're releasing in their classics and start incorporating that gradually, or have different titles so they don't compete themselves or whatever, but they had from each generation, NES, SNES, 64.
Yeah.
And, that would be very, very interesting and worth paying $10 a month, $60, like a closer competitive price if you got access to that entire library plus whatever online stuff they end up incorporating down the road. I think to me that's a really rich competitive offering for people who are hardcore Nintendo people.
Yeah, I completely agree. And one other thing about those NES games that if I read that, I think I understood this correctly. I haven't signed up yet. I'm going to actually probably sign up this week, but so it has online capability for the former local only multiplayer. So like you and I could online play Super Mario Brothers 3. I don't know how much that's...
Did you see the thing where the other person can like move a little hand across the screen and stuff? Because they still don't have a native chat function. And so you have to, if you don't want to use a third party deal, there's no way to communicate inside of the system. So if you're playing Zelda and I'm observing you and we're not talking, this takes me back to like their commercials where like I feel like an idiot just explaining this.
Yeah,
but the Switch is a hit, so I'm not gonna knock it. But anyway, so you can like move this little hand cursor around the screen, and then I can like point to things that you should go check out. Yeah, and then if you do it or don't, I can like do a little clap thing with it, and like that's a point and a clap are like the 2 things that you get for communicating non-verbal chat wise.
Honestly, there's a whole
incorporated that feature, which is nice.
There's a whole list of people on my friends list that I wish that's the only way they could interact.
So as a side note, you've had 2 experiences. I think we talked about this before, where
we
played for different reasons. I was sitting in my living room and I was in a situation where I couldn't really get on my headset and that kind of thing, but I was playing Ghost Recon Wildlands. We teamed up and I was like, I sent you a message, hey, can't chat, but let's run a mission. And we played way better than when we talked to each other. And then you had a similar experience with your brother Jimmy, who's been a guest on the show previously.
His wife was like asleep right next to him.
Yeah, and you guys played way better.
Oh, it was insane.
So maybe that's like
surgical
not a bad thing.
Top score. I think we were playing Destiny, but it was insane the things we were pulling off. And
so maybe a point and a clap and that's it is like might be helpful.
Yeah. So Sony and Microsoft should consider
chat and party systems are actually bad for gamers.
Yeah, that's a good. We should think about that as an episode. Chatting is bad for gamers. Yeah. That's the other. We did a communications
getting in
episode.
tiffs, and you're like, oh, you think that's funny? Now I'm going to run you over with a helicopter, and when you're not,
that sounds very specific.
When you're not chatting, like talking to each other, and not in a party, you just sort of have to read each other and accomplish the objective. And
things are a little
behavior.
Things are a little bit funnier in silence too, because you don't know what they're thinking, and they can't defend it.
Yeah,
you're just like, what the hell were you doing?
Well, and you end up finding ways to communicate. This is a total sidebar. Like. You end up finding ways to communicate by like jumping and moving, like the way anonymous people communicate in game sometimes, like in Destiny, in the world, if you're out in a shared space or whatever.
Jump and then you shoot at what you want them to see.
Emotes and stuff like that. Yeah. You still can communicate with people. It's just it's different. Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Side note. Anyway, I think they're adding a dedicated chat. I don't think it's in yet. Yeah. Right? I think that's what they were saying.
I don't know.
I think it's either coming soon. I don't think it launched with this. Maybe it did.
No, I saw like a IGN overview of the new service and stuff, and they were talking about the hands and the clappy stuff and all that, and it sounded like that it is not launching with
it. They did a horrible job before. I used to Jimmy and I would try and play Smash Brothers on Wii U together.
Yeah,
it didn't go well. It was laggy anyway, and then what we used to do, we both had 360s, so we would turn on our 360s, get in a party with our headsets on, and then switch our inputs to our Wii U's. So we were using Microsoft's
chat while playing Nintendo.
So we would be on the 360. Our 360s would be on our,
Yeah, it's kind of weird that it is a bad sign, and it's kind of like, how can Nintendo respect themselves when they're like forcing players to like do all these other janky solutions?
Yeah.
But
I mean, it was free
at the same time, though. It's like it's kind of very Nintendo, and
and they don't care.
I don't think most Nintendo players really care that much about that. I'm sure there are some that do, but
they know that point clap is all you need, and they think if you can't do it with point and clap, you have you should not be speaking anyway. Yeah. Maybe you have no honor. I don't know. but it works. So I guess I can't complain too much. Or if I do, I'll just turn on my PS4, get in a party chat with my friends, and then switch to my...
It's not a bad plan, actually.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
So some minor things that the service gets you, besides the normal online access, is you get... I guess there's some Splatoon gear. Splatoon gear you get
like exclusive for signing up kind of thing. Yeah.
I wasn't excited about it, but I need to get the code for my
Some people are hardcore, though. Well, yeah, and your son loves it. Your one son.
My other son, he doesn't even like to watch Splatoon. He's got whatever. That's fine.
But even with Splatoon 1, there was like a really loyal, hardcore, competitive core group. So I'm sure that there are people out there excited about that.
Yeah. My son will be really excited, too. He loves getting new outfits in Splatoon, and he's pretty good at the game. Yeah. So, yeah. And then there are these special NES controllers for the Switch.
Yes, this is cool.
Yeah, they're wireless, right? Or
I think
wired?
So, yeah. I saw a quick image of it, yeah.
You can only buy them if you're a member, of the online service.
So, like, you couldn't use, like, the wireless thing from the NES Classic. Yeah, so there's some third-party made wireless versions of those. You couldn't sync those up.
I think you could, but I guess what's important is that there's an NES controller made for the Switch. They won't even sell it to you unless you're an online member.
I honestly like that stuff.
I know. Everyone does. Yeah. Like, Destiny allowing us to buy the t-shirt
there is something to feeling like an insider on something.
It's brilliant. Yeah, I feel stupid every time I say it out loud, but I still have the shirt. So whatever. I actually probably won't get the NES Classic controller. I mean, I'm
sure the Switch controllers work fine.
They work great.
I mean, for those NES Classics in particular, though, I'm sure they work fine.
Yeah, of course they do.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, they're nice to hold. Why wouldn't they work? Yeah, whatever. So I'm not particularly excited about that, but it's a brilliant marketing strategy. Yeah. And from what I've seen about my SNES Classic, they do a really good job on those replica controllers.
And the one of the other things in the NES library games was the suspend points looked a little bit more intuitive than they do on the NES Classic. I think you just tap the shoulder buttons is what it looked like, and then it'll pull up you like push them at the same time, the back main trigger shoulder buttons. And it'll pull up a little window and it lets you do force suspend points. So if you've gotten like really far in Mario 1 and you want to like save before you die on that platforming part that you always die on or whatever, you can throw in a suspend point and then go back to it and cheat, basically.
That's nice. I mean, that's how it is in the classic systems too, right?
Yeah, they do have suspend points, but you have to like go hit the reset button and go back out to the menu, and then you have to, so it's a little bit more
it's easier,
fluid, for
this younger generation. I'm just kidding.
I
suck now too. I'm just kidding. So is there anything I missed on the Switch particularly?
No, I think those are the big bullet points. I think it is a cool service, and I think that for the price, that's just crazy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And I will be surprised if they don't expand that offering and raise the price down the road. But for like an initial out of the gate thing, I think it's really cool, and I think it's a good value.
Yeah. So let's quickly compare that kind of to what PlayStation and Microsoft are doing.
So PlayStation and Microsoft's are almost identical.
Yeah, we can probably knock them both out saying the same.
You get 2 free games a month ish. Yep. Sometimes I think PlayStation now offers a free VR game a month as well.
Yeah, but I know PlayStation also will do like a free PS Vita game and sometimes a PS3 game.
Right.
Still.
Yeah. Then every once in a while there's like an extra little indie game in there that you have to like go hunting for to find out what they're offering. It's not like the main 2 games on your PlayStation Plus icon off of your dash or anything like that. And then you're paying...
Microsoft does a very similar thing.
Yeah. And then you're paying for the right to game online.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, so you're paying for the right to play online. They both come with cloud storage for saves. I think I saw a limit on Sony's of 10 gigs.
10 gigs, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't
know what Microsoft's is though.
Let's talk about the price. So they both have a $10 a month, a $25 for 3 months. Microsoft has a $40 for 6 months that I didn't see for PlayStation. Yeah. And then they're both $60
I think it's $1,312 for PlayStation.
Yeah. And then they're both $60 a year. You can, if you're smart bargaining, you can like sometimes find the yearly cards for cheaper or use like 10% off at Target. Yeah. I've done that a fair bit. That's how most of my subscriptions were paid.
Honestly, though, I mean, because I in my history with PlayStation, because I had a PS3 as well, and Xbox 360, and I guess Xbox Live goes all the way back to the original Xbox, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, I've been a subscriber for many years now. If you have a game now, especially with all these online service games, it's like, for $60 a year, I honestly don't think that's a bad price. And then, like we were talking about with Nintendo, if you're paying $60 a year to have really good online support, sometimes they're a little hiccupy with party systems and stuff like that. But for the most part, they're a good, high quality social experience online.
Right.
I don't mind paying $60 to have like active support that makes social gaming very easy. I'm good with that. I don't think it's expensive. And then you add the free games on top of that, and you get out of the 24 free ones you get a year, 24 plus, like 2 of them are good, right? But even then, though, that's if you would have bought those outright, that's it's going to be more $20 to $40 right there. So to me, the value's there. I have no problem with the
I think we've all gotten used to it. I just think of it as like paying for another game.
Mm-hmm. And I think when they first came out, I remember being like, I'm paying for the right to like play this damn game. Like
so indignant.
Yeah, and now it's like, well, it could be worse. It could be free and shitty. So I would rather pay the money and have a good service.
Honestly, I was like ready for Nintendo to charge $60. I wasn't excited about it, but I was like, oh, here we go. How am I going to do that? And then I was like, oh, it's way cheaper than I thought it would be. They didn't always do the free games. That's been a more modern thing. I think it started, I remember them announcing it in E3. Was that 2 years ago? It was nice. I don't remember who announced it first, but the other one
They've been doing it for a little. I thought they'd been doing it for a little while. I thought
it's been this generation though. You know what? Maybe they've had it going for a while. I remember being really happy about it though.
Yeah, it is cool.
Like one of them did it and then the other one had to copy. I kind of want to feel like it was 360 who did it.
When Xbox and then the 360 generation, they pioneered. Like Xbox, I remember holding a magazine reading about Xbox Live. I was going to sell my Xbox to a friend at school and I was like, hey man, I haven't been playing it that much. Like, you want to buy it? And then I remember getting a gaming magazine and reading about Xbox Live and telling him like, sorry dude, I'm not selling this shit. Did you hear about this? He's like, yeah, that's why I want it. I'm like, yeah, no, sorry, you're up a creek.
Yeah.
And it blew my mind when they first announced Xbox Live.
But I've felt a lot better about paying for the yearly subscription since they started doing that.
It's not dissimilar, I don't think, from the paying it like a subscription for an MMO, and you're paying for all this support, and you expect regular quality. And
so a couple other things to note with both of them, you get a lot of times you get like special discounts on sales. There'll be games that go on sale just for members, just for gold, or just for
that's
PS
actually
Plus.
Really nice. I bought a couple games on my PS Plus membership. I think Ghost Recon Wildlands.
Yeah, we got Wildlands.
It was on sale, and then they had an extra slice discount for, if I'm remembering it right,
we picked up
PlayStation
everything
Plus people
for less than $30, or around 30.
Yeah, like the whole gold package or whatever.
Yeah, and it was only for members.
Yeah.
I think there was a sale, but I don't think it was like the mega sale.
Yeah, so you bundle all that together: support for online interaction, 2 free games a month, and good discounts on games you were probably going to buy anyway. It is a good value.
We bought Battlefront 1 the same way.
Yeah,
Star Wars. It was like $20 for the whole, everything. Yeah. So I don't mind doing that. It's a pretty good marketing ploy, especially if you game regularly. But they both have that. I did want to distinguish just because I want to give Microsoft their fair shake. I know last episode I was like, go out and buy a PlayStation right now.
Yeah.
And you still should, because Spider-Man's great. But regardless, the backwards compatible 360 games has been huge.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of really good titles, and people are really excited. You do not need Xbox Gold to play your library of 360 games.
Right.
You do need it to play online with people.
So if you have a 360 backward compatible game that you're playing, you can't do multiplayer on it unless you have gold.
Right.
Is what you're saying.
Just like you would have when it was on 360.
Right. Yeah.
So that doesn't change.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you were doing when it was on 360. And then for those that care, like if you like to play Xbox games on PC, the Xbox Play Anywhere games, those do not require gold. But same thing, like you're not going to play Gears of War 4 online unless you have gold. On the Xbox, I'm not sure if you have to have gold on PC. I don't actually think you do. But if you're playing on Xbox, you still have to have gold. Maybe you do need it on PC. But my point is, to play the games anywhere, like Cuphead and stuff, you don't need Xbox Gold. So I think I was glad that Nintendo's not the same as the other ones. Did you want to go into game libraries, or do you want to save that for another episode?
That's a good side note. If you Google online game subscription services, what you'll find is a huge diverse different services that offer game libraries for like really good prices. I haven't looked at EA Access really since it got announced, and that's $5 a month.
Yeah,
it's really crazy. So you can get access to like all the FIFA and the NHL and all that stuff. It's actually a very good deal. All the Battlefield games, the Battlefront games.
Sorry, what? I fell asleep when you started saying acronyms. Just kidding.
Sports acronyms.
Just kidding, Diego.
So pretty cool. One thing I did find interesting is I went to GameFly and I looked at their subscription service that wasn't the actual them mailing you the disc. If you go to their streaming online library subscription deal, because we talked about this we
talked about it with Jimmy.
Yeah, and he said, I think GameFly has something like that. If you go to it on their website, it says after August 31st, 2018, this service will no longer be available because we sold out to EA.
Really?
So EA bought all their technology and then shut the GameFly end of it down. So you can still use GameFly for disc mailing and stuff, which is what I should do, because I bought Tomb Raider recently and beat it in like 3 nights.
Yeah, you're crazy. You buy them at release.
Yeah, I should have GameFly'd
and then burn through them like you would do with GameFly.
Yeah, I should use GameFly. If I was smarter, that's what I would do.
Jimmy does it. He uses it a lot.
But I thought that was interesting that the EA is, because we talked about it on our streaming episode, that these big companies, Microsoft and EA and everybody, are really starting to invest in this technology for streaming and online game libraries and all those kinds of things.
Yeah, everyone's.
So that's just a side note on something I found.
The subscription thing is big everywhere.
Yeah,
with loot boxes and all the crazy.
There's some cool ones out there though. Jump is one of them. Utomic, but there's a couple cool. There's some that are like just indie games. They like curate indie, like from really small developers. You pay $5 a month and you can stream them because they're so small. You can actually stream them at high quality.
Nice.
And if you are into indie games, you can get a really rich offering for like $5 a month and play new stuff regularly. So there's some really cool deals out there.
That's cool. Yeah. So I guess to wrap it up, I'm going to buy the Switch online. I was not.
Why wouldn't you?
I was originally not going to, but like with the prices and the family membership, and I think it'll be fun. Like, I'm actually excited to go play Double Dragon with my kid and go clean up the streets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it'll be fun, and I'd like to see him play, because I don't have an NES Classic, a NES Classic, is that, or whatever. But,
well, if for no other reason, because I do have one, and the controllers are a pain in the ass to find. It's like there's a better supply now for. It's been a couple weeks since I looked, but when I first bought it, I could not find a controller anywhere. I went to multiple GameStops. I looked online; they were all sold out on the places I looked. So if for no other reason, you can use your 2 Switch controllers to play NES Classic games.
Yeah,
that in and of itself is a good deal.
And it'll be kind of nice to have a mobile NES player. Right. That's what you'll have.
Right.
I mean, I guess you'll need online access to do that, but still, if somebody's wanting to use the TV, or I feel like playing some Zelda in the bathroom, I can do that.
Right. Well, the Switch has done so well that it's good to see them getting in the mix with online services.
Yeah, and like Nintendo's been doing, they do it their own way, which I think is really cool.
Thank you for listening to Save Every Universe. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend. If you'd like to support us financially, you can do so at patreon.com/SaveEveryUniverse.
We will be starting our initiative very shortly that any of our patrons on Patreon that pledge even $1 a month will get a special invite to our Discord server. You'll become a champion of the universe, and you can interact with us, share your ideas. We'll also run some of our future ideas by you, and you'll have kind of some insight into the podcast.
And if you have any feedback for us or questions, episode ideas, and you are not a patron, or you are a patron and you just love email, you can email us at saveeveryuniverse@gmail.com.